Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the film Earwig and the Witch. So Earwig and the Witch is the latest release from Studio Ghibli, and it is the third directorial effort of Goro Miyazaki, the son of Hayao Miyazaki, following Tales from Earthsea in 2006 and From Up on Poppy Hill in 2011. So Earwig and the Witch is based off the novel of the same name by Diana Wynne Jones, who also wrote Howl's Moving Castle, which was adapted into another Ghibli film by Hayao Miyazaki and is one of my favourites. The plot follows a young orphan who's adopted against her wishes by a witch who kind of ends up forcing her to help out around the house and help her with making potions and spells and all that. And Earwig agrees to this in return for being taught how to do magic. However, she ends up kind of mistreated by Baba Yaga and plots her kind of revenge and rebels out against Baba Yaga. So overall, I thought the film was quite, it felt quite rushed and unfinished. The elephant in the room is the animation, of course. It's not the worst that I've ever seen. It's not as bad as some people make it out to be, but it's certainly not good. The character models are really bland, plasticky. There's no really emotion. You can't really connect to the characters. Some of the background work is done really well, and especially I've noticed the food modeling was excellent. It really makes you hungry. Like the food looks so good, but it makes you wonder why they didn't put that much effort into like character models and stuff like that. The plot was pretty threadbare, quite inconsequential. Nothing much happened in the film. It's pretty much all set inside this magical house that Baba Yaga lives in. And by the end of the film, I was very surprised. Like when it ended, I thought there was another 15 minutes left because there didn't seem to be much story resolution. Plots didn't seem to have come to a natural finish, and there was many like plot threads that were just left hanging. Lots of interesting things that I would have liked seen to be developed a lot more. I watched the English dub, which was distributed by Elysian, their first one. It used to be Studio Canal who distributed kind of Western releases, the English language releases of Studio Ghibli since Princess Mononoke. And I've got to say, this is not a good dubbing at all. The voice acting is stilted, unemotional. It's really below par. It's the kind of the kind of voice acting you'd expect to hear on a kind of cheap Saturday morning cartoon, not a major motion picture studio release. I did quite enjoy Dan Stevens as the cat Thomas, but that's really the only praise I can give to that aspect. The dubbing itself was really poorly done. It was really obvious the characters weren't saying what they were saying. The lip movements just did not track at all. It was just painfully obvious. And I think my biggest praise for the film has to be the music from Satoshi Takebi. Although sometimes it's a bit hit and miss, like sometimes the tracks just don't seem to fit the scene. But they do help to kind of inject a bit more energy and life into the production, which is severely missing from like the animation and just all other aspects of the film. There is quite a distinct lack of background music throughout, which is very noticeable in some like more action-oriented scenes, where it's just basically silence other than like sounds that are actually happening in the scene, and it really kind of takes you out of it. You don't really feel connected to it. So that could have been done a lot better. So really, kind of in summation, I wouldn't really recommend you go see Earwig and the Witch. It's definitely the weakest output from Studio Ghibli, not just because of the animation. There isn't really a recommended target audience I'd suggest. The one most suitable would seem to be like kids, young kids, but the film's actually surprisingly quite intense and scary in parts, so it could prove quite alienating for that audience. So really my final rating, with all things kind of considered, I'm giving Earwig and the Witch 1 star out of 5. Anyway, so thanks for watching. If you've got any thoughts on Earwig and the Witch, drop them in the comments below. I'd like to hear your views on the film, especially if they run completely opposite to mine. I'd like to hear what you think about it and the positives you managed to see in the film. Also left a link to my Letterboxd account, where you can view more of my written reviews and generally see my thoughts on film throughout time. You get to maybe get a glimpse of my taste in film. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.